Hey to all my Just Therapy UK members, subscribers even, welcome and thank you for joining me. We are now at over 1,000 subscribers. I am so pleased. It's a very new channel, so I'm just hoping it will grow and reach more people to hopefully help them. In this video, I'm going to be talking about workplace bullying or narcissism in the workplace, because so many of you have asked me for this video on how to deal with this. What does it even look like? How do you even know you're being bullied? Because sometimes people are not even aware they're being bullied. So yes, if you want to know a little bit more about this, then please do. So my name is Emma. I am a qualified psychotherapist and a trained life coach. And I hopefully will give you tips and tools in these videos to help you navigate life, especially if you are somebody that cannot afford therapy or cannot find a therapist to help support you, or a life coach that's just not available to you. So hopefully these videos will help you. So during this video, if you like it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please drop a comment, because it gets me on the algorithm. That is really important when you're running a YouTube channel, is that they recognize that you're being commented on, you like and subscribe. I mean, you don't always have to subscribe. I appreciate that might be something you don't want to do, but at least if you could at least like the video or drop a comment below, and if you would subscribe, that would be great too. So yeah, so that being said, let's dive right in. So many of you have spoken to me about workplace bullying or narcissism in the workplace, and what does this look like? How do you deal with this? Now, obviously everybody is different and everybody has a different set of boundaries. And if you don't, then I would really say, really work on finding those boundaries, things that you do not like, things that you really, even if you feel that you hate in what happens to you, and how people treat you. And once you kind of have those in place to a degree, then you can kind of then assess, okay, is this person bullying me? Is this something that is really affecting me? And most of the time, potentially the answer would be yes, because generally speaking, if you feel like you're being bullied, the chances are then it's potentially happening. But what I would also say is that sometimes you can feel like it's happening because of something that is in you. There is an insecurity within you. So at times you can go to the other person and say, look, this is how I'm feeling when you do that, or how you say that. Can I ask, what is your intention? What do you mean? Because I feel like I'm being bullied. Whenever you're having a conversation with somebody, it is really important to own your perspective. Because when you come out on the attack, like, you make me feel like this, you did this, and then this happened, then what the other person would potentially happen is they will get defensive, and then that's when you can have arguments, which can become very heated. So if you want to have a conversation with somebody, the best thing to do is to say, I would like to have a conversation with you. I would like to discuss what recently happened, where you said something, it created me to feel, or I felt this way, or I felt bullied. And hopefully the best case scenario is that person is going to kind of sit down with you and have a conversation with you. Now, I know that might to some seem very la-la, but this is when you are dealing with somebody that has worked on themselves or understands that everybody has a different perception on things. Like, for example, you can go into a room, there could be 10 people, and you could say something, have an intention of it being coming from a place of good-heartedness, and 9 people will take it that way, and that one person will take it as you're bullying them. And you'll sit there and kind of go, huh? No, I wasn't. And the reason that is because that person, whatever is going on for them, it's whatever you've said has become a trigger point. So it's reminded them of something that's potentially happened to them. Now, that's not your fault, and that is something that they work on. But the reason I'm saying this is because I want you to kind of look back at yourself and think, is that happening for me? Is it possible that that person wasn't meaning to be bullying, but whatever they've said or done is triggering something? They're reminding me of, say, I've had people say that when someone says something, it reminds them of their mum who was quite bullyish or narcissistic, or their dad who bullied them, or even a sibling, or in a previous relationship. Always be self-reflective. So when something comes up, and this, your first instinct will be, you'll have a reaction. Your body will react probably before you do, in a sense. So your body will react to somebody that's saying or doing something. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about physical violence or anything like that, because that's an obvious one. But this is if you're in the workplace and somebody is doing something that is affecting you. So the first thing we would want to do is that we would want to look at ourselves and kind of go, okay, I'm reacting to this. Why am I reacting? What is going on here? You know, am I, you know, is your body feeling, is it clammy? Are you becoming anxious? Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling angry even? Perhaps anger is coming out. These are all things that can be affected in your body by somebody doing something that you don't like. And what that really is your body is responding to a fight or flight situation. Your body is recognizing whatever this person is doing, you don't like it. And so your body will respond in how it understands. So if your immediate, in a sense, default is to be angry, that will come up. If your immediate thing is obviously to feel scared, then your body is going to react to feeling scared. What it's going to do is it's going to remember a time when you were scared. It doesn't understand this is a different situation. It is going by your body. So it is going to go, okay, I'm feeling scared. What do I do? And that's when you get the fight or flight response. So you will like run from the situation, or you'll confront the situation. So a lot of the time, especially with the people that speak to me, is that they are fearful of this particular person. This person is doing or saying something and they feel nauseous. They don't want to go into work. It's a really, really unpleasant work experience place. And a lot of the time it could be someone that is just doing something as a one-off, or perhaps you are dealing with somebody that is narcissistic, and in some ways enjoys bullying you. And it could be going on for a long time. So this is a slightly more difficult way to talk about this on a video, because every person is different. And so when a client comes to me, I would need to see them as a person and how they deal with things, and go and kind of then adjust what I would say and do with that individual person. That's why it's not one size fits all, because what could work for one person doesn't work for another. However, generally speaking, you would tend to go through the different variations. Like, can you go and speak to somebody? Is there somebody in HR? Is there somebody that you can say, your boss, that you can go to and say, look, okay, this is the situation. This is how I'm feeling. I'm not wanting to come into work. Is there someone that is understanding? And some places even have counselling as part of the workplace. So is there some way of going into and speaking to somebody to help you work through this, even if it's bringing the other person in and sitting down and having a discussion with the two of you to, in a sense, get to the bottom of what it is? Now, again, that's not always possible. So again, these are just eliminating certain things. Can you leave your job? Now, I know that's not always possible. I appreciate that some people, especially when you've got mortgage or bills to pay or whatever it is, and you've got children, family, it's not always easy to walk out of a job. So I wouldn't say necessary to walk out of a job, but is it possible for you to then look for another job while this is going on? Because that would be beneficial to you, to not be in that environment. Now, again, I hear you when people say, why should I leave my job? And I completely understand that, but you've got to look at what is more important to you. Is your mental health more important, or in a sense, your pride in staying in a job? Now, I appreciate the fact that if you love your job, say it's a job that you've been wanting to be in for years and you love it, but then this particular person has come along. But again, it's the same type of thing, because if you cannot go through the motions of speaking to that person, trying to get sorted out and stop it from happening, going to HR or going to your boss or whoever to get this sorted, you're then going to be in a situation. So then your other option, if you choose to then stay in the job, or you feel you have to stay in the job, would be, in my opinion, to get outside help. Because what can happen then is, like, what I do is I work with clients to create them to go through what is happening for them. Because a bully, and this is being completely breaking it down to bold brass tacks here, a bully can only bully if you allow them to. So if someone is bullying you, then that means that there is an opening for them to get in to create this environment where they can do that to you. So what I would do with clients is I would work on that and kind of go, okay, why are they bullying you? What are they saying? What are they doing? Why is this affecting you? Where has this come from? And when you start to look at all of those things, because, for example, and I myself, and I'll be completely open and honest here, and some of you who know me from the other channel, I have been bullied. And so if I look at it from the example from myself, and this was even as an adult, this is only like a few years ago, and it was online bullying. So my job is online for the most part. So I had to go online to do my job because I'm on social media. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. So there were some elements of it which I had to see. Now, one of them was when I was on Twitter. So obviously I'm doing this. So I was on Twitter as well. So then what I chose to do was I shut down Twitter, because to me, if I don't see it, I'm not affected by it. And now, obviously, there were other instances and I had to kind of work through those. But the biggest thing was because I'm not like that. I have never bullied, as far as I'm aware, and I've never been told I have, but I have never done that. So to have it done to me completely, especially, like I say, at the age I am now, to have that happen took me by surprise. So I think sometimes give yourself a minute, because sometimes if it comes out of the blue and you don't see it coming, it can really take you a minute to get to grips with what is actually happening. And so then you kind of, like, for example, then you can go into all of the feelings that come up with that. Like for me, I was upset because what was happening for me was I just couldn't understand why this was happening. I didn't feel I'd done anything to deserve it. It was ongoing, and I just felt really, really upset by this. So after my initial being affected by it, which a lot of people are, then it was kind of like, it was almost like something else then kicked in and was like, okay, right, this is affecting me now. What do I do about this? Now, I appreciate that not everybody has that ability to do that. But what I would say is, talk to as many people as possible about it. And when I say talk to people, I mean people that are sympathetic, people that understand. What you don't want to do is talk to people that kind of go, oh, just get over it, just deal with it, I'll just ignore it. Because unfortunately, you can't a lot of the time. Sometimes you're in situations like what I was, that it's there in front of you. Like, for example, if you're at work, it's there. It's not a simple case of just ignoring it. Because what you then need to do is work on yourself. So if you can seek out, whether it's, if you can't afford speaking to a therapist or a life coach or someone along those lines, then maybe seek out videos like YouTube. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there that help people, and find tips and tools to help you navigate your work situation around a bully. Do not, and I say this wholeheartly, do not let them see, as hard as what I know it can be, that they're affecting you, because that is also part of it. When someone bullies, they're doing it to affect you. And so they want to see that happening. And especially if you are dealing with someone that has narcissism, they want to affect you. They get gratification from it. It's quite macabre and it's some ways sociopathic and psychopathic how some can behave. But bearing in mind that then if you're dealing with a narcissist, sometimes ignoring them will create them to be worse initially. So what can happen then is that they won't believe that you are not interested in them or that you are not being affected. So they will push the boundaries that bit more. They will get other work colleagues involved. They will even lie about you and say things and try and get you into trouble, perhaps with your peers or your boss. Now, at this point, you have options. You can either, because if it's a narcissist, I would not suggest you go and speak to them, because if you are dealing with somebody that is a narcissist, all that will do is show them that you're being affected. So if you're ignoring them and they're still doing things and you're finding yourself really being affected by this, again, try and go and speak to somebody. if that's not possible, then in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, the best thing to do is either, if you can stick at it, if it's not affecting your work to the point that it's in a sense like it's damaging your work, then stick at it, because trust me, eventually, if you keep ignoring a narcissist, they get bored. What you do is if you think of it almost like a flame, you snuff out the flame. It's called the narc supply. If they can't get narc supply from you, they will give up and they will move on to somebody else. Now, they might periodically come back and try, because in their brain, they won't be able to deal with the fact that what they will see is you've won. They don't like that. They don't like someone else winning. They have to win. So occasionally they might try and hoover you back in again, or try and start it up again. Again, you do the same thing. You literally act as if they are non-existent to you. And if you have to work with somebody that's like that, then you literally are cold, matter of fact, just about the job, nothing else. And again, what that then sends the message to the narcissist, usually, I mean, there are exceptions to the rule, but usually that they can't get anywhere with you. So they will find another target. Now, I appreciate this can be quite lengthy. Sometimes it can be, and exhausting, but it can and will most of the time end up that way, where they will just move on. All the time they're affecting you. All the time they're seeing you get upset, or they see you reacting. It fuels their supply. So think of it, like I say, as almost like throwing coal on a fire. What you're doing when you react, and as much as I appreciate that it's not your fault and it's not fair even, but this is the way they behave. If you keep throwing coal on that fire, the flame keeps staying ignite. It's there. And the heat is still there. It's the same with a narcissist. If you react, or you try and reason with them or talk to them, they love it. They are still affecting you, and all that time they will just keep doing what they're doing. So the best thing to do is to snuff it out. Don't react. Don't speak to them. Don't try and reason with them. Now, if it's somebody that's just a one-off, or somebody that is just maybe just not even a nice person, because there is a difference between narcissistic personality disorder to somebody that's just not being a very nice person. Some of the time you can reason with those people, and you can sort the situation out. So I would always suggest the first thing to do is try to sort it out. Even if you're not sure if this person is a narcissist, you will know because of the way they behave. And also then getting other people involved. If it's just one person, sometimes the chances are that just one person won't like you, and they will stay with it just being you and them, in which case then you can decide what you choose to do with that. If you can leave your job and you can find another job, I would always say that is a beneficial way, because it's not about them winning. It's about you looking after yourself, and that is far more important than being absolutely miserable in a job. If you can't, then those things I would say really try to do, and keep this video, play it back and forth, and really look at yourself. And that's why whenever I work with people, I always say it's so important to know who you are, because once you do, and once, like, for example, like when I speak about my bullying, once the initial shock of what was happening, because a lot of it was disbelief. It was kind of like, I don't believe, I can't even believe this is happening. And I think a lot of it is the sadness that people can be so mean and so cruel to somebody that either they know, because some of them did know me, and some that didn't. But once I kind of got through that bit, because I'm human, they're my feelings, and you're allowed to have those. You're allowed to feel upset and angry and hurt and all of those things. Then it was kind of like, okay, now why is this really affecting me? Right, now I've acknowledged that. Now what do I do about it? Because I am sure as heck not going to let them win. They wanted my YouTube channel gone. That's never going to happen. Now, okay, yes, I did come off Twitter, but the only reason I came off Twitter because Twitter didn't matter to me. If I wanted to stay on Twitter, I would have stayed in it, and I would have ridden it out, but I didn't. I wasn't bothered. Twitter doesn't really mean anything to me. My YouTube channel did. I was very passionate about my YouTube channel, and I still am. I'm passionate about the people that I've come to know over there, what I call my little bubble family over there, and I thought, you're not taking that from me. I'm not letting you win. And that, when you start to feel that way, it almost gives you a sense of power. Like, you know what? I've got this. And also, when you do get this, and when you do fight back in that way, even if it's you just don't give them the power to affect you, there is just something that happens within you. You're just kind of like, you know what? If I can tackle this and I can do this, I can pretty much take on anything. I can do this. You know, I can do life. You know, because people do throw things at you. People do affect you. But when you know where it's coming from, and then you work through those things, it's such a euphoric, wonderful feeling at the end. And that takes time. You know, as many of you know, I'm in June this year, I'm 50 years of age. So I'm not speaking at this from a young person in a sense. I'm not saying that I'm not young. I'm going to get told off now, but just from almost like a naive sense of, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I do. I've been doing this a very, very long time, and I've gone through pretty much a lot of what I talk about. And even now, I can still be affected by things. And it's not that when you do therapy that you're never affected by things. You are, but you just know how to deal with them. I know myself. I know my flaws. No one needs to tell me them. I know them. It's not always nice when someone actually picks up on them, but I know they're there, and I'm quite happy to admit that if someone says something to me, I'm like, yep, that's me. Because when you take away that from somebody, it's like, I know who I am, so it's not really going to affect me, no matter what you say. So once you kind of know that, it takes away their power. And if the one thing I can say to people is just stop handing over your power, in a sense, to somebody else. Stop letting somebody else affect you and dull your shine, dull who you are as a person. Don't give someone else that. You are unique, you are amazing. And if someone else doesn't like you, or they've made a beeline for you, that's on them. It doesn't mean that you have to change. If you look at yourself and there's elements of you that need changing, or you want to change, that's up to you. But it's not for somebody else, just because they don't like you, that they tell you that you've got to change who you are, or they bully you into changing. If you don't want to change, if you like who you are, no matter what it is, you be you, and you be proud to be you. So I hope that has helped in some ways. If you want me to go a little bit further, if there's something in a video that you think I haven't covered, then please put it in the comments below. Like I say, I'm making a note of everything people say, and I'm doing a video. I'm going to do a video on everything. Now, I appreciate that is going to be a lot, but well, you know what? This channel is going to be ongoing. So I'm always going to be covering different topics. I'm going to be redoing some because things change. And yeah, so if there's anything that you want me to talk about, make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss the uploads that I do. And hopefully some of these videos will help you. If you know somebody that could really help with these videos that I do, then please share them. Because the whole point is that it's not just about me, but it's about getting this out to people that might need it. Because like I say, not everybody can afford a therapist. Not everybody can have access to a therapist or life coach or mental health. And as much as I appreciate there are probably so many channels on these subjects, but sometimes it just takes, you know, you might watch something and that doesn't work for you, but then this video might. It might not, but if it does, then, and it helps one person, then to me, then what I'm doing here is worth it. So thank you so much. Like I say, give this video a like if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe if you would like to. If you haven't, join me on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, then maybe join me there, because I'm going to do a few little uploads on there as well. And yeah, and I'm also on Instagram, so join me on Instagram. But all the links you need are below. If you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, I would really appreciate that too. And again, the link is below. And in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your day. And as I always say, take care, stay safe, and remember, you are amazing as you are.